Our Unitarian Universalist bylaws affirm 6 values centered in love and inseparable from each other. On the first Sunday of the season, we call to mind the first such value, interdependence. We honor the interdependent web of all existence. We covenant to cherish Earth and all beings by creating and nurturing relationships of care and respect. With humility and reverence, we acknowledge our place in the great web of life, and we work to repair harm and damaged relationships. Our opening hymn is number 84, verses 1, 2, and 4. You will notice that we have no AV this morning. We have a dead drive. So it's going to be old-timey. Open your hymn books. Number 84, verses 1, 2, and 4. I forgot passing the peace, and I have to practice, but the passing the peace is actually the Star Trek version, right? Live long and prosper. Response is peace and long life. Live long and prosper, peace and long life. Peace and long, wait. Peace and long life. Was that David? No.
I wonder if he thought when you said before, he said 11.
No, he knew it was both.
His wife was
Good morning. I'm Diane Ford, she, her, your celebrant this morning. Our theme this month is community. David Yurdin is here to tell us about the Des Moines Urban Bicycle Food Ministry. David has a family emergency, and it's iffy if he's going to make it, but I keep looking in the audience for him. I have to tell you all that this is the first time I've organized a sermon all by myself, and the AV is down. My speaker is having an emergency. Faith is sick, so thankfully Louise is filling in. So we have some challenges this time. Anyway, I'll tell you about David, and hopefully he'll be here. I don't see his hand raising. I don't have my glasses on, but hopefully if anyone sees him, let me know. David is a board member and a longtime volunteer for the UBFM, the Urban Bicycle Food Ministry, which is a wonderful organization that affirms our first UU value every Thursday, even on Thanksgiving, by creating and nurturing relationships of care and respect for the unhoused on the streets of Des Moines, one burrito at a time. And a special welcome to our visitors. If you are here with children, there is childcare, or feel free to keep them seated with you, or utilize our play area in the back of this room. Our First Unitarian Church is located on land that has been home to humans for 12,000 years, starting with people of the woodland culture, and later the Iowa, Sauk, and Meskwaki. Other animals, such as the blue pike, extinct since 1976, once swam in our lakes. As we enter this space, the ghosts of humans and other animals past are among us. We are called to join in the work of education, reparation, and healing for all species. The moon is a waning crescent now and will be new this Wednesday, the 25th. The summer solstice occurred on Friday night at roughly 9:41 p.m. Central Time. Happy summer? I don't know. For newcomers to our congregation who may be curious to learn a little more about us, every first Sunday of the month we have a curiosity corner, or curiosity conversation after the service. The next one will be on Sunday, July 6th. And now we light our chalice. And I will actually. On the first Sunday of the season, we dedicate our chalice to the value of interdependence. Please join with me in the chalice lighting words from Albert Schweitzer in your order of service. At times, our own light goes out and is rekindled by a spark from another person. Each of us has cause to think with deep gratitude of those who have lighted the flame within us. We are a people of covenant, not of creed, and we express our covenant in our denomination's bylaws, our bond of union, our mission, and our relational covenant. Please join me in speaking the mission of the First Unitarian Church of Des Moines. We covenant together. Is it in your? Oh, I'll just say it, and if you know it, please say it too. We covenant together to advance our mission, to love radically, grow ethically and spiritually, and serve justly. Now we have a responsive reading, old-timey number 666, no meaning in that, in the back of your hymnal, The Legacy of Caring by UU Minister Thandika. Please respond with the indented and italicized words. Despair is my private pain, born from what I have failed to say, failed to do, failed to overcome. Be still, my inner self. Let me rise to you. Let me reach down into your pain and soothe you. I turn to you to renew my life. I turn to the world, the streets of the city, the worn tapestries of brokerage firms, drug dealers, private estates, personal things in the bag lady's cart. Rage and pain in the faces that turn from me, afraid of their own inner worlds. This common world I love anew as the lifeblood of generations who refuse to surrender their humanity in an inhumane world courses through my veins. From within this world, my despair is transformed to hope, and I begin anew the legacy of caring. Have I sung on invocation number 159? Faith is sick. Louise is Faith today, our storyteller. And we're going to do Bike on Bear in honor of bicycling in the food ministry. Bear was no ordinary cub. He was brainier than a monkey,
More flexible than a python.
and more helpful than a brigade of beavers. But Bear had a very hairy problem.
I can't ride a bike.
Not even with training wheels. Crash. Not even with Daddy pushing him.
I'm gonna let go now. Ready. Crash.
Not even with 10 of his best friends helping. Pedal, Bear, pedal. Brakes, Bear, brakes.
Crash.
The situation was unbearable. Then it got worse. A new park opened.
Fly your kites. Picnic in the park. Ride your bikes. No training wheels allowed.
All his friends were going.
I've got to ride.
Try the library, Bear. You can learn anything there.
Eureka.
Learn to ride a bike in 4 days. Day 1, get to know your bike. Day 2, practice your balance. Day 3, believe in yourself. Day 4, don't think about it too much. Day 1, Bear studied his bike end to end. Welcome, David. You can come and sit up here.
Have a yeah, come on up.
Come on up.
Yay. All good. This, by the way, is celebrant magic. This is.
Woo.
Okay. Wheels. Check. Handlebars. Check. Brakes. Check. Bell. Ding.
He ran scientific calculations, got on, and whap.
Maybe next time.
Day 2, Bear practiced balance, a glass of water on his head.
Steady. Steady.
He got one foot on, then the other, splash.
Grr.
Day 3, Bear believed in himself.
I can do this.
He imagined writing. He posted notes. He dressed like a pro.
Let's ride.
He fell. Rip! That night, Bear's science project exploded. His gymnastics failed.
I can't even help my friends anymore. I give up.
Day 4, Bear trudged toward the library, bike book in paw. Then, help! That kid is flying away! Bear ran some fast calculations. Distance, height, wind speed.
Wheels, check. Handlebars, check. Brakes, check. Ding!
He jumped on, no thinking, just doing.
Let's go! Triple back paw spring.
Bear nabbed the kid midair. Cheers erupted. Yay! Hooray, Bear! That was some riding!
Oh, thanks.
Bear was no ordinary cub. In fact, Bear could do practically anything. Bike on, Bear!
Thank you. We will not have our UU history because that's unfortunately video, which we could not play this morning. So we will move on to our special musicians.
Opus 3.
This is my official petition to rearrange the order of service so I don't have to keep following amazing acts like this. I'm Anna Davis Evans, she, her, a pastoral care associate for this congregation. You're invited to call upon the pastoral care team if you're going through any significant life transition, for us to lend an ear and for you to talk it over. You can reach out to us at pastoralcareteam@ucdsm.org. You can also request assistance or submit a joy or sorrow through the Caring Community page on our website, or of course by speaking to me or another member of our pastoral care team. This morning we have the following joys and sorrows to share. We share a sorrow today from Hannah Notch, a member of our staff. Hannah's 91-year-old grandfather was rushed to the hospital on Wednesday, June 11th, and has since been in the ER, the Progressive Care Unit, and now the ICU. His condition has been touch and go, and the prognosis remains uncertain. Hannah's carrying a lot right now, and we hold her in care as she navigates this difficult time with her family. Last Sunday, on Father's Day, C.W. Smith lost a major father figure in his life, his uncle Larry. Larry Vanderpool and his wife Gloria raised C.W. and his sister from 1980 to adulthood after the death of their parents in a car accident and the death of their grandmother who first took them in. C.W. said, "There were joyous times and bumps along the road. There were vacations, special events, and day-to-day normality. But I was lucky to have my dads and moms all along the way." We extend our deep condolences to C.W. and his family with their loss. Norm and Sue Replinger wanted to share this note of gratitude. Thank you for all the beautiful cards, messages, and calls we've received since the tragic death of our granddaughter, Sarah Lynn Milgram. To be touched by so many caring, thoughtful people has truly touched our broken hearts and helped us meet each day one step at a time. We are so grateful for our wonderful UU community. And finally, member Jean Evans turned 90 on Friday. Wishing Jean a belated happy birthday. Of course, we know there's more going on in your lives, more people weighing in on your mind. Let us share together now the names of anyone we know who could use some special care and attention. You may call their name out loud, or if you're on Zoom, type it into the chat. As we share these names, may the love of this community hold them all. We light 3 candles this morning. One for the joys and sorrows shared aloud, one for those shared in writing, and a third for those held silently among us. With all these in mind, we now observe a minute of silence.
Our trainings in compassion are adapted from the series of Tibetan slogans called Lojong. Today, number 20, practice for life as well as death. You could say that the whole point of spiritual practice is to prepare for death. French writer Charles Piguet wrote, "A person doesn't die from this or that disease, he dies from his whole life." Many people become religious or spiritual as they near death. Death is powerful, very immediate, and a great motivator. But if you wait till the time when death is close to begin your practice, it may well be too late. It is much better to spend time in your life working on your spiritual practice, so at the time of death it will be there for you. With years of practice while you're still more or less healthy, when you're dying, instead of being subject to a mind full of confusion and dread, it will be possible for you to meditate on love and compassion. If we have spent time in our life cultivating our spiritual practice until we see our whole life as practice, then it may be possible that our death can be not a tragedy, but something much more. Even in the last moments of life, you can breathe in and you can breathe out. You can breathe in the suffering and breathe out healing and relief. Practice now, and when death approaches, you may be able to remember, as you breathe in and out, all the things that you have been practicing for many years. You can remember that life is like a dream, which was training number 2, and that life has only ever been things coming and going insubstantially, mysteriously. Breathe in, breathe out, be where you are. All the training and teachings of spiritual practice come down to just that. So simple, yet not so easy to do. We have so many complications.
We come now to the offering, recalling our value, interdependence. We honor the interdependent web of all existence. We covenant to cherish Earth and all beings by creating and nurturing relationships of care and respect. With humility and reverence, we acknowledge our place in the great web of life, and we work to repair and harm damaged relationships. In the spirit of gratitude, of which the offering is an expression, I mention now 2 of the many delightful items currently on our Singing Gratitude bulletin board. To the AV team, and this is sort of ironic here, I very much appreciate their willingness. It happens to us all. We all have grace for each other. I very much appreciate their willingness to help out at every service and provide our church with sound and video. I enjoy watching the videos and love having the option to join virtually. They have given so much time and energy to ensure our church can provide a quality service. No fixing a dead drive on the fly though, so thank you, AV team. Thanks to Kathy Beck-Cross, Barb Martin, Lynn and Carrie George, Laura Lexinger, Linda Lemon, Linda Applegate, Sue Huber, Sally Beckhold, Crystal Loving, Alice Besco, Lori Emma Sinclair, Elaine Imlau, and Jean McCracken for their time and talent in preparing a meal the first Monday night of each month. These individuals have shared their time and talent in preparing a meal for 20 young moms every month on the first Monday night since July 2024. So thank you, thank you. In gratitude we give, for in gratitude we receive. Now we'll have Opus. I first heard of the Urban Bicycle Food Ministry from a friend who was collecting plastic bags like these. Shame on Iowa for still having them, but she was collecting them and recycling them to make plastic yarn or plarn. Then the plarn is crocheted to make these, this water-resistant sleeping mat for the unhoused. And the UBFM gives these away to people who need them on the streets of Des Moines. Des Moines poet Diane Glass wrote this poem about making a mat, a craft for humanity. In our imperfect world, we are meant to repair and stitch together what beauty there is. I smooth it like velvet, removing wrinkles, folding sides gently in, cutting off the top and bottom. Others at the table do the same, a group of older women gathered to work and share friendship. We fold, snip, cut and tie to produce strips, then balls of plarn to be crocheted with fat needles into chains. Looping the chains together, we watch our mats grow to 3 by 6 feet, suitable for adult men. Colors add variety to this creation, ordinary and useful, flowers and beauty. A person will sleep warm and dry. A veteran will know we care. This gives me a sense of purpose. Our craft for humanity, not a water well, nor a garden plot, but a simple place to sleep. I have to unfurl this so you can see it. It is really amazing. And if you need to get rid of some of your plastic bags, I know where they can go. This one. And it has such a neat little carry piece. This magnificent. In these times when the vulnerable in our community are marginalized or even attacked, we gain hope and strength from those who look for ways to serve with grace and respect. The Urban Bicycle Food Ministry is just such a group of people. We did have a short video showing the history, but I let David know that we do not have that video, which was part of his talk. And David Yurdin is, as I said before, a longtime volunteer and board member. And he'll talk about probably the beginnings and how it started, which the video covered, and his experience with the group on the streets of Des Moines. So David?
That's going to stay there. I see some familiar faces. Barb. So, as Diane said, I'm really grateful to be able to talk with you about an organization that is dear to me. I'll give you a little rundown of what you might have seen on the video, if you can imagine. The video starts out with close-ups of folks preparing sandwiches, no narration, just the chatter in the fellowship hall as people are volunteering. Then it shifts to some views of people on bicycles around the church and down the streets of Des Moines and elsewhere. It features some interaction between the volunteers and those on the street, asking how they're doing, have you had dinner tonight, handing them a sack of food or asking if they need other items, if they're interested in a sleeping mat, which many people are, batteries, personal items. Our CEO, Robbie Collier, talks about the history, and I'll tell you briefly about the history. It was about 11 years ago, our founder and former CEO, Joe Laszlo, had a bad bicycle accident. During his recovery, he was at church and he had what he calls a noetic experience. He felt God was telling him that he he was going to create a ministry to bring food to people on the street, and he's going to do it on bicycles. And he goes, oh my goodness. So he did some research, and there were organizations like this already. And so he started one day with 20 bottles of water and 20 homemade burritos that he made on his bike going down Ingersoll Avenue, and ran into people and rapidly distributed what he had. So from there we have grown to quite an organization with hundreds of volunteers, thousands on our mailing list, to something very special. The video closes and I begin with our motto, which is serving radical hospitality, one burrito at a time, with grace, love, respect, and hope. And the word hope actually was added just a couple of years ago, following a night of serving folk downtown. And I usually share in the leadership of the group that goes downtown. We call it the Red Route. Robbie says, why is it the Red Route? Because we stop at all the red lights. So I said to Robbie, I said, if I were living on the street, and this was a conversation we had, receiving food and a hug from a volunteer, it would give me hope that I could break the cycle of being homeless. So we thought about that. So that was added on to our already beautiful motto. So I learned about UBFM while attending the Bike Expo. Anybody ever been to the Bike Expo? Yeah. Okay, so you know what that's about. And this was in 2018. I began volunteering fairly regularly that summer. So combining a food ministry with bicycling sure seems like fun, doesn't it? And it is fun, but it really is more than that. As is always the case, during the fall of 2018, we switched to delivering in vehicles. It's much too cold, and our volunteers dropped because some people only want to go bicycle. So we switched to vehicles. Then I realized that we were able to reach people on bicycles that we couldn't reach in the vehicles, and particularly people who are living outdoors, whether it was riding down an alley downtown, or for the other group that works on or delivers on the south side of town, maneuvering the levees on their bicycles. So it really makes a difference on bicycles, and it makes me sad in that regard whenever winter comes. However, one of the advantages of going on in vehicles in the winter is that we can pile on whatever stuff we want, blankets, coats, you name it. So it really matches what they need during that season, because we wouldn't be able to haul that stuff on bikes. It's just too much. Did you know that there are other UBFMs? For example, in Dubuque, there's a UBFM. In Tennessee, there's one in Nashville, there's one in Memphis, and there's also one in Colorado Springs and in St. Louis, Missouri. Capitol Hill Lutheran Church is our host organization. We rent space and store our inventory of food and clothing and other personal items. That's where volunteers meet every Thursday evening, every week, year-round, to serve. We're there to serve on Thanksgiving, which is usually on Thursday, as well as Christmas and New Year's, if that should fall on Thursday. And it's amazing how many volunteers we actually bring in during the holidays. We'll have entire families come. Maybe one of the family members has been volunteering, so they have their children from out of town join them. Maybe they'll just come for that one time and not again, but surprisingly, we do get quite a few families during the holidays. So every week we have to order food supplies. So some of that comes from Sam's Club, but every month Martin Brothers makes delivery to the church with similar items. Folks drop off in-kind donations to the church on Thursday evening, or Thursday afternoon and evening, as we prepare to go out in the streets. So if you're interested in that kind of help, get to the church around 4:30, 5 o'clock, drop off your in-kind donations, whether they're coats or blankets or batteries. That's the time to do it. It's always on Thursday. Most of our financial support comes from organizations, churches, clubs, and of course, many individuals. We also receive a few grants. Now, during COVID, when everything was shut down, including our churches, we tried to sustain our ministry. At one point, however, because of donations dropping, we had less than $4,000 in the bank. And mind you, it cost us about, at the time, about $40,000 to $45,000 a year to sustain the ministry. So it seemed like we were destined to close down. So we made an urgent request to our friends in the community for support, and boy, did they come through. And we never shut down. Continued, maybe in a smaller form. For a while, we were, instead of making peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, we were buying the so-called Uncrustables. I don't know if any of you know what those are, at the store, and then giving those out. So now we're on solid standing in Des Moines area and have a steady flow of financial support, fortunately. Each week, 45 to 60 volunteers show up to prepare sandwiches, deliver food to the streets, and clean up our mess in Fellowship Hall. And it gets kind of messy. We also get help to distribute supplies to route staging areas, which are set up on round tables in Fellowship Hall, each with a flag with a color denoting the color of that route. So it's kind of organized chaos. It's noisy, it's crazy, but it's full of love. We also get help to distribute supplies from folks and cook burrito filling, sort out in-kind donations dropped off. We even have one fella, Mark, who keeps an eye on the bicycles, which are parked on the north side of the church, so we don't get e-bikes stolen, and that has happened. We have had bikes stolen there until the volunteers go out on the street. And we have 8 distinct routes through Des Moines, 2 of which are year-round car routes that travel. One of them travels as far north as 3580 at East 14th, and another route travels down to Army Post Road. But from April to October, the other 6 routes usually go out on bikes in groups anywhere from 4 to 9 volunteers. Some nights it's stormy, and some nights they say, I'm not going out. Or it's coming down, raining cats and dogs, and some people don't want to go out. But actually, we have a group of about 3 or 4 very hardy individuals that are used to bicycling in the winter that go out year-round on their bikes. I don't know how they do it, even when it's down to 10 degrees. So during the colder months, of course, most of the routes go out on vehicles. Now, the number of people we serve really varies depending on the season, as you might suspect. There may be as few as 200 people a week during the winter, but as many as 600 or more a week during the summer. We've seen a steady increase in folks serving over the past few years. For example, in the first week of 2022, we served 330 folk. And just a few weeks ago, the same week, we served 624. Last week, we almost hit 700, and we've never served that many before. One individual route, which used to serve about 70 or 80, maybe 100, this past week served over 200. The need is out there, and hopefully we're there for them that one day, one night a week. So I'd like to share a couple of stories about the neighbors we serve. I met a gentleman at the Central Library on our downtown route a week ago. He was pushing his possessions on a modified shopping cart, piled up to here. This huge contraption with baskets and luggage and you name it. He wanted to tell his story, part of his story, which began with the experience of dumpster diving with his mom when he was a school-age kid. Yeah, that was my reaction. It's real. He hated doing that, he said. And then when his mom died decades later, he took over her possessions accumulated in her apartment. But the owner of the building gave notice to all the tenants that he was planning to sell the building. They need to clear out in 2 weeks. But before the deadline, he was served an immediate vacate notice from the police, who proceeded to dispose of all the belongings in the apartment into a nearby dumpster. So he was distraught, but he surprised himself by beginning to retrieve some of her and his belongings from the dumpster. So here he was, repeating his mom's behavior of dumpster diving. One winter, I met a young man bedded down for the night on a cement slab in an alley between 6th and 5th Avenue. He said, "I really appreciate all the food and other things that you gave me today. But what I really appreciate is that you see me as a human being. That's the most important lesson I've learned from being a volunteer with UBFM over these 7 years." Please join me in prayer. Holy One, you have given us eyes to see, arms to embrace, and hearts to care. Guide us to serve others in ways that match our skills and passions. Bless the servers and those served, no matter where they are on life's journey. And lift us up during times of frustration and worry. Amen.
Please stand as you are able and join in singing hymn 299 in your Ray hymnal. Make channels for the streams of love where they
Please say with me our extinguishing chalice, extinguishing words. It's in the service, right? Yeah. Okay. As we extinguish the flame on our chalice, we ignite it inside ourselves.
Our commitment to our mission and to one another is an unquenchable flame.
Until we relight this flame, we remain together in spirit. As we cycle through life, may our gears run smoothly, our brakes stay strong and safe. May our tires be puncture-proof, and most importantly, may we have a seat of comfort. Whether we ride a bike, drive, run, or walk, may we not avert our eyes from those most in need as we pass by. May we really see them. Cycle on, friends.